Time. You take it. I'll get the dog. I'll get it for you. Okay, you take it. Let me get
Hi.
attention. Let's get everyone's attention up to the front here, and we're going to give the mic over to Simone.
Hi, everyone. Happy BIL 2012. I think so far we've had a pretty amazing turnout. I can't wait to see what more the day brings. So thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being part of BIL this year. And let's get this show on the road. So first I'd like to introduce Reichart. Reichart will be our MC for the beginning portion of BIL on the main quarter stage. So you guys know how BIL is set up this year, right? 5 stages, kind of 6. Space stage, main quarter stage, the 2 side stages, BIL bodies, and then we've got the mask sex positive boiler room over there in the back. You guys should definitely check that one out. But I'd love to give the floor to Reichart right now.
So we're closer on time to starting this time than I think we've ever been before. Yes. Yes, yeah. We're getting better and better at being a conference. So 10 minutes out, not bad at all. I will warn you guys right now, it's going to get a lot busier here over the next 2 days. We can use the numbers of the people that we see in the first thing in the morning to sort of gauge that, and it's just a swell that starts to come in, and then it just grows and grows. What we find is that by Sunday afternoon, people are begging to be able to give a talk. They want to be more interactive. You start to know each other. You feel more comfortable. All of the shy people have relaxed a little bit. So we probably have a strongly disproportionate number of introverts in the room. So you know who you are. You're not talking right now. So I'm going to hit on some just key points, and throughout the day I'll be mentioning things repeatedly. We're going to try to tighten things up as much as we can to keep ourselves on schedule as close as we possibly can. So I'm going to talk pretty fast and just mention a whole bunch of interesting concepts. The first one is we have a video camera directly back there, so try to stay out of the line of sight if you can. We'll have people coming in constantly and going out constantly. We have a great idea this year. If you meet somebody here and really start to have a good vibe, a good conversation with them, take your date outside. No, I'm kidding. What I actually want you to do is I want both of you to go over to Alex. Alex is in the very far back there. See it over there says BIL Live? You can see him. He's raising his hand right this moment. He's wearing a BIL shirt back there. That's Alex. He is an awesome, awesome human being. Yesterday, he just showed up out of nowhere, set up, and said to us, well, you're live streaming now. Like, really? That's impressive. He does like the big sporting events and makes it happen super fast. And he wants to take it to the next level this year. What he wants to do is interview people and start to put this together into a BIL video. So this is your chance to tell your story, talk about what brought you to BIL in the first place, and most importantly, how you met people. Because the biggest difference to me, and this gets asked a lot, what's the difference between BIL and TED? And there's a lot of jokes. And some people think it's actually competitive, and it's not at all. It's actually quite the opposite. TED is awesome. The point is that TED is $7,500 for a ticket. Prepare yourself for what it costs if you want to do a +1. It's $150,000. The cost to do this entire BIL conference is less than the price of a few tickets from TED. That's it. We're doing this all out of our pockets. No one's being paid at all. No one here is paid, so no attitude. So with that in mind, the difference between TED and BIL is that TED is very much about the speakers being spotlighted so that they can go out in the world and spread their message. BIL is about the audience getting a chance to meet each other. So unlike a club or a nightclub or that type of environment where there's lots of music and sound and difficulties of communicating, the only reason we have people on stage is so there's something to focus on and then have a conversation about it right afterwards. So the main quarter stage, which is what we call this, quarter meaning 15 minutes total, that's how everyone goes out and talks. And then there's all these other stages if you want more time out there, work groups, and you can create one. If there's a slot up there available, You can get a group together and be amazed. You'll put what you're interested in. And I saw this happen year after year. Someone would mention something, and 30, 40 people would gather because they were really interested in that topic. I've already just last night had a whole group of different people say the exact same thing to me. One was an attorney last night, walks up to me and starts explaining to me his life, his story, and he mentions what he's interested in. He pauses himself and he says, he's talking about basically downloading his brain onto a chip, et cetera, and he gets embarrassed for a moment and he says, am I going too fast for you here? I can't even put in perspective how you haven't even begun the conversation with me. You're among your own. So be aware of that. This is about the audience. We just happen to mimic the format of a conference. Okay, so I'm going to hit on some just key issues here that are important. BIL Buddy. That's the concept of finding somebody you have met at BIL, and we want you two by two. We want two or more, if you wish. Go over to Alex and tell your story. Today, tomorrow, whenever you feel comfortable. An interesting little thing. There's a few people who worked their ass off last night, the day before, the week before, the month before, last year, who have been here since the very beginning when we started in 2008. The word organizer means you help us get this done. So understanding this, there are levels to that among our own. It's like, well, this is an open system, but it's definitely controlled by focused people who understand the value of a fascist organization that pretends to be democratic. So you tell us your ideas, and if all of us kind of think they're okay, we might actually listen to you. But you have a pretty good chance of getting your idea across. So with that in mind, if you are wearing a pink ribbon on your arm, raise your arm. Look around for a moment. These are the people who are here physically working, mentally working, stressing out, putting their ass on the line. We ask one thing. Give them a massage. Rub these people the right way. Because people should be able to be rubbed from any direction. Okay. I happen to know a young lady who needs her feet rubbed. If you do not make a new friend at BIL, you do not make friends. You're not going to make any friends, and you're going to die alone and sad. Just wanted to mention it quickly. We have two bars. There's one provided by the ship downstairs and upstairs. They are doing standard mixers, they're doing beer, they're doing alcohol. This is a boat, as far as I understand it. Everyone, including the captain, should always be drunk. I was just told this. Apparently there's something in the news. This is the way it works. So be aware of that. Please make use of them, because they also help us when we come back next year, because they count up all these different services for themselves. That's one way to show appreciation. If you are interested in a BIL t-shirt, there are only few. In fact, I'm going to have you talk about this right now. Talk about the BIL t-shirts, how many we have and how we get them.
Okay, so essentially we've got only 288, why is this so tall? Okay, I've got 288 on premises right now. They're going for $20 a pop. Thanks, Reichart. Thank you very much for making me feel really short. If you would like a t-shirt, please visit our registration, wherein once you pay for a t-shirt, they will give you a token to take to our office. Our office will actually give you the size of t-shirt that you need. So first come, first serve. Sponsors, you should already have your tokens for t-shirts. If you don't, please visit one Mr. Paul Grasshoff. Paul Grasshoff? Don't know where he is.
Upstairs.
He's upstairs organizing the t-shirts. What a nice, diligent worker. If you would like one, please go visit the registration. So thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Two quick things before I jump into the beginning of BIL. As it was mentioned earlier, there is a room in the back. It is called the boiler room. When we saw this first last year, we all went, it's like where every Die Hard movie should be shot. It's the bowels of the ship. It's where they do the haunted part of the Queen Mary. They allowed us to use it this year. Now, we left it open, and we didn't know who was going to move into that space. And BIL is always about what happens. And as I said, it's amazing how you'll find other people here who have the same feelings and beliefs and interests that you do. Well, this group took hold. They stepped in. And they are therapists and psychologists and people who work in the adult-to-adult business, the human interaction and intimacy business. And or was I not being clear? They fuck a lot. So, last year it was biohackers. They came out of the woodwork, bringing machines and devices for manipulating things. We have them too here this year. Now we have this new community of people who are sex positive. So, one of the sponsors, our top sponsors, is Mask. And I love reading radio voice, reading people's actual intros, so I'm going to do that right now. Making quality product. Oh, actually, can you cue Barry White right now? No, I guess not. Okay. Making quality products to enhance personal intimacy. Changing the way people think and talk about foreplay around the world. Change the way some people view the taste of semen. And any negative effects it has on their oral experience. That's what Mask does. They make things taste good. Okay, so Mask is one of our sponsors. They have done an amazing job. They helped make this possible. Please give a round for Mask. As riveting as I am, and I know what's going to happen, the moment I stop talking, you're all going to run to that room. But just so you guys all know, there's only 60 people allowed in that room at the same moment. I guess it depends on what they're really doing. Do 2 people ever count as 1? So, 60 people max, please be respectful of that. There will be somebody at the door to remind you. They're keeping track of all of that very carefully. Be very respectful in that room, of course. The gentleman who is running that room, his name is Reed. He's right back here raising his hand. If you have a question about sex, this is the man to ask. Once you've been instructed, come back and talk to me. So, 2 more of our sponsors, and I'll be mentioning sponsors throughout the day. 3Scan, which this is Todd's. Yes?
Todd,
yes? Todd, come up here. Who is Todd? We need to introduce Todd. We're going to have to hit a few people. Yes. Who is this man who helped found BIL? Come on up here. Come here. You introduce yourself. Here, you introduce your company today.
Thanks. I'm Todd, and I love it here at BIL. And right now, myself and 3 other people have a biotech startup doing high-throughput microscopy. And we sponsored BIL just because we've been helping out a lot and wanted to give back to the community that has brought us so much. Thanks, Reichart.
Yes, you should stay up there. The Seasteading Institute. I'm so glad you're clapping because I need to make a personal joke to a friend of mine who founded the Seasteading Institute. He's the energy behind it. I remember the very first time he presented a diagram to me of what he was planning to do. And from that point forth, whenever he'd come stay at my place, I'd make him stay in the pool. For those of you that don't know, no, he's in the pool. Just to cool him down. So that's Patri Friedman from a wonderful philosophy and energy that man has. He's the things he does. The Seasteading Institute is a nonprofit working to enable seasteading communities, floating cities, we really need music for this stuff, create a world where seasteading communities are a reasonable option. Now, that sounds kind of silly at first, but I need to point out, this is a brilliant concept, getting everyone out into the oceans. You should talk to the seasteading people because they will change the way you view how we're all allowed to use this planet. So it's an amazing insight into what the possible future is here. So these are our 3 top sponsors, and there will be more being mentioned throughout the day. Many of them are here. There's a seasteading booth upstairs. The Mask is in the back, and we'll mention through. Do you have a scan here?
We're going to be setting up a display and showing some of our data and stuff.
Very cool.
The tables up there.
Very cool.
But I haven't set it up yet.
I'm going to talk more about what you guys do because it's very cool. Okay, so that's me for later. All right, and at this moment, do you want to hit some of the people from our own team?
Actually,
I think so.
people,
Yes, you start it.
Okay. Well,
You start it.
There are some people who really, really worked hard to make BIL actually a reality this year. And because I'm thinking about 30 different things, I'm going to forget some people. But if you're here, please just come over to the front. First of all, Todd, main BIL co-founder, who started in 2008. You know, he should get a round of applause, definitely, as well as Reichart. Thank you. Lexi Bright, another co-founder from 2008. Michael Cummings, I don't know if he's here. There you are. Cody Marks Bailey, I don't know if he's come back yet with the drinks, so give him a big hug when he comes back. That's from the main. Oh, and of course our BIL collector who helps collect every year. Reichart wants to take this.
I'm going to take this one. Do you see this gentleman right here? This is Mark. Mark needs money. Mark has the BIL box. Genuinely, even though we have sponsors, every time we get more money, we actually don't go into the deep red. Most of us put our credit cards down for all of this. What you're seeing, even in a small group, there's a whole group of us out here, this all starts with us having conversations on Twitter almost, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a party? And then it grows from there. And then, are you serious? Are you sure you're serious? Are you going to do this? Are you really going to be doing this? Can you cancel everything else? That's how this all begins. And none of us are ever in the same place, same time. I'm on an island in the middle of the ocean, the furthest from any continent. That's where I live. Simone's in one place, another state, another place. Everyone is in a different physical location. We do all this online, and then we grow and we grow, and we do Skypes, and then we grow and we grow and we grow, and then we begin to meet. And then we have a final big meeting somewhere, and then this happens. And it's all on hope, because we never know what's going to appear here until the last moment. That's what the Feed Me box is for. Every single dollar that goes into that, and I try not to do the Jerry Lewis thing too hard here, really makes a difference. It's what pays for the tape. It's what makes sure the microphones are here. All of this is donated, but there's money that has to grease things, especially when you're inside a giant ship or somebody else's hotel. So we just have to solve problems, and sometimes when a problem comes up, there's no chance to go back and get money from anybody. So please help if you can. Anything you can do. Okay, you guys are awesome. No attitude. Okay.